Here's my tritone. Woo! Watch this. A different place, same type of chords. Go back to the top. Woo! Again, this is my tritone right here. Move it down a whole step. Bring it down a half step. Back to the top. Now, real quick, I want to let you all know I love you so much and I appreciate you giving this video a thumbs up as well as your positive feedback in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you think it's okay to play jazz or blues in a churchy setting? Some of you guys have opinions, some of you don't, but I love it. I love what these guys did because they were 100% authentic. Big shout out to Jeremy Thomas. He has a jazz band. You guys may want to check him out on Instagram. I'll put his link here. But I love you guys so much. And with that being said and done, I want to get right back into this lesson. So you notice they're in the key of D. And what they did was, here you can see this is a D major. And this is the 7, so we call this a D7. Now, the cool thing about chords like this, I always want you guys to look closely to find tritones in the chords that you're already playing. If you look at this, you don't think that there's a tritone, but here's a major third. From here to here is a minor third. From here to here is a minor third. Where's the tritone at, KC? Well, if you look from here to here is my tritone. Why do we call it the tritone? Well, here is 3 notes. So if you go from here to here to here, these are all minor thirds. 1, 2, 3. So 1, minor third here, minor third here. So here is 1, 2, 3. Here is my tritone. In some ways, we can call this a diminished chord, or we can call this 1, 2, 3. So that's my tritone, because here's 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's how they get the term tritone. And the cool thing about tritones that a lot of musicians haven't noticed, the tritone is the same if you invert it. So from here to here, well, what's C tritone? C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the other tritone, because this is a C diminished chord. Take the third out, C tritone. So that's the cool thing about tritones. Now, if you notice in that song, they were doing this. And if you notice this first chord, it doesn't sound like a tritone because technically there is no tritone. This is over the 5 in the key of D. If you look at this is an A13 suspended. And I'm sure maybe some kind of way we could find a tritone, but technically this is not a tritone. This is a passing chord to take us to, to our D chord, which is a D9. So, now, what am I doing with those? These are passing tones. I'm trying to get to this G down to an F sharp. So what can I do? Whatever you want to do, just make sure you get to this. Here we go. Now, what do I do there? You can take this down a half step, and then another half step takes you right there. So this is a whole step down. Another half step down. Keep going down a half step. Keep going again. So if you look at this real quick, so that See this over F sharp. See this still going down a half step over B. Boom, boom, boom. That's over E. Boom, boom. We're gonna go to the 5. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna explain to you guys this. I don't want you confused. I'm gonna break down how you get this. When you move this chord down half steps, how the bass line creates an amazing 2-5-1 type of movement that you can use for backing up a preacher. You can use these MIT, I'm gonna call them MIT chords, to play jazz and also how to play blues. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is KC, man. Back again with another video. I want to show you guys some churchy chromatic formulas. Let's jump in. MIT. That's what you heard in that demo, a whole bunch of different MIT chords. So there are two different MITs. You'll notice there's a capital MIT and then there's a lowercase MIT. The M, if it's capitalized, stands for major. If it's a lower MIT, the lowercase m stands for minor, all right? So the capital MIT sounds like this. So let's just say we'll play a F major chord, all right? So F major. And then the I, of course, stands for inversion, or to invert that chord. All right, so we're going to invert. And then we're going to add a tritone. Now, a tritone is basically 6 steps away from your note or your destination note. All right, so this is the original note. So we'll go 6 steps away. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's how you create a tritone. So I did 2 different groups of 3s, or you can just count down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So throughout this MIT video lesson, we're going to keep the chord name at the top. That keeps things pretty simple and it makes it so much easier to play these chords. So when we're playing a F MIT, notice that F is always at the top. And the same thing for if we play an A flat MIT. A flat is always at the top. It keeps things super simple for us to be able to execute these chords quickly. I have a special way I like to play this chord. Now, if you listen to this, I like to move the 5th scale degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to move it up a whole step. So watch this. So it's like a little slur. All right, and I'm not trying to get too fancy with this, but if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's why they call it a F13 chord, because you have your 7th here, your 3rd, 5th, and then here. But instead of playing the 5th, we're gonna go right to that 13, and the 5th is missing. All right, so this is your F7 with the 13. Now here's the cool thing about this. My goal is for you to be able to play these chords quickly, all right? So I don't want you to rush through this video, but it is my desire that you take your time and learn that chord in all 12 keys. It'll make playing this type of music so much easier. I can tell you, people ask me all the time, Casey, how are you moving so quickly? It doesn't seem like you have to think about it. I don't catch on to chord shapes as quick as other musicians. It actually takes me a little longer. So this is me being transparent. I drill myself. I sit down and I say, play the F chord, the F MIT, go. Do it again. Do it again. Go to B flat. Do it again. Do it again until I get it right. Go to E flat. Do it again. Play it regular. Add 13. Do it again. And I just gotta psych myself. Go to A flat. Add a 13. Here's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you gotta go through all 12 keys. Take your time and do it right. All right, so let's cover a lowercase MIT. Now you remember the uppercase MIT is a major invert tritone. Well, the lowercase MIT is minor invert tritone. Now, if you're following along in the PDF, we'll do an A flat minor chord. So here's A flat major, here's A flat minor. Now, minor, invert, add the tritone. Now you remember tritone is 6 notes below, 6 semitones. All right, and so this is our A flat MIT. Now I know my professional musicians, my musicians who went to school and studied jazz theory, you're gonna call this F minor 7 flat to 5. And that's cool, that works for all of us. But here's the problem with that. When I play this chord over a C sharp or a D flat, I get a D flat 9. So I can call this a flat MIT over A flat MIT over G, A flat MIT over B. It gives a completely different sound. So that bass note completely defines or redefines this MIT chord. It's so much easier for me to just call this A flat MIT over D flat. Now, if you listen to this, all right, so it's like a D flat 9 chord, all right? But A flat MIT over D flat or C sharp. Now watch this. You can also use that same chord, and some of you guys have been playing this chord already, over A flat. All right, listen to that. Where is this taking you? All right, has that R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet song. You can play it over B. Take it to an E flat over B flat. Same thing. All right, or you can even do it over the 2. That gives you that churchy sound. So as you can see, A flat MIT can be used so many different ways. Watch this. A flat MIT over G. Here we go. A flat minor, invert, tritone over G. Now where could this take us? All right, takes us to a nice juicy C minor, 9 with the added 11. All right, so A flat MIT over G. All right, so let's say we're doing the song, oh, say, can you sing, right? Or how great is our God, sing with me, how great. So it takes you to that C minor chord, all right? So as you can see, man, I want you guys to experiment with the MIT chord, all right? So that's A flat MIT. Now, of course, this is a churchy series, right? Because we're trying to go to church, all right? So with that being said and done, let's play that same A flat MIT, all right? Now we're gonna play that over the G. Now watch this. What if I take this MIT chord and move it down a half step? All right, do you see what I did? Now I'm in the key of F. So A flat MIT over G. Now take it down a half step. Now we know 2 takes us to the what? You guys have seen my 72 chord progression video. 2 to the 5 to the 1. So here's my 2 in the key of F, 1, 2, which is a G. Take this down a half step to the 5. And then we'll close out with our regular F MIT, the major one. All right, or here's the regular MIT. Remember I told you can move the 5th up to the 6th? All right, so watch this. So as you can see, you're already kind of playing a progression. A flat MIT over G. Take it down a half step. Over the 5 to the, all right, to the F. All right. 2, 5, 1 is the most popular gospel chord progression, the most popular jazz progression the most popular progression ever. All right, here we go. 2, 5, 1. All right, and you'll notice, watch this. Now we're getting to a level where we're able to make these chords sound a lot more open, a lot more professional. So you'll see us do stuff like this. 2, move this MIT down a half step, over the 5. Now, how do you sound more professional? Instead of keeping a 5 here, open that 5 and move it down to the bass. Let that bass kick in. So 2, 5. Close it out to the 1. Now notice that 1 is a major MIT. F major, MIT. All right. So 2, 5, 1. Now in this next level or this next stage, what we're going to do is we're going to create some motion. All right, we want to keep this thing moving. So let's say most songs, most congregational songs, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord, they go somewhere. I'm a soldier. All right, so they go to the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need something to take us to the 4 chord. All right, and even in jazz, boom. All right, or blues, all right, and then you go back home. All right, now watch this. What can we do to get us to the 4? I have a progression that I like to call 6, 2, 5, 1 to the 4. All right, so you hear this a lot in jazz. 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. All right, let's go to the 1. 6, 2, 5, 1 to the 4. And then what you do is you put the chords with this. So we're combining the MITs with some 2-5-1s. All right, fancy 2-5-1s. In this instance, we're gonna call this a 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. Listen, you better get used to doing 6, 2, 5, 1, 4s.
If you're gonna play this type of music, you're gonna back up preachers. If you're in the key of F sharp, all right, you want to be able to do 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. If you're in the key of C, you need to be able to go 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, and move them different ways. 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, because here's C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I noticed the wrong fingering, and I know the key signature behind me is not matching C right now, but you get where I'm going with this, right? So in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 6, 6, 2, 5, 1 to the 4. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. God is a good God. Yes, He is. God is a good God. Yes, He is. Here's the cool thing about that type of chord progression. You hear it a lot in jazz, even when you're backing up preachers. All right, now let me show you what you can play. 3 MIT. Come on, say it with me. 3 MIT. If you can play the 3 MIT, you're good to go. All right, so let me show you what 3 MIT is. Here is F. 1, 2, 3. So in this F major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3. So play a 3 MIT. So here's my M, which is A minor. Invert, add the tritone, go down 6 semitones, and there's your A MIT, or my 3 MIT in the key of F. Now, here's the cool thing about the 3 MIT. If you can play this chord, move it down a half step. You good to go. All right, so watch this. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier. Did you hear what I did? I just used that 3 MIT, A minor, and add the tritone. All right, now it didn't really sound great until you add that transition or that chord progression. 6, 2, 5, 1 to the 4. So in the key of F, just because I want to make sure I don't want to lose anybody. All right, in the key of F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 down to the 2, 5, 1 to the 4. All right, now we're going to play that 3 MIT, which is M-I-T. So here's my 3 MIT over the 6. 6, move it down a half step, over the 2. Move them down a half step, 5. Move it down another half step, 1. Now move it down another half step, over the 4. All right, so if you listen to this. All right, so I'm a soldier and when you get to army, that's when you play that chord. In the army of the Lord, I'm a soldier in the army. All right, that's what we just played, that A flat. Remember we did that A flat minor or the A flat MIT? Played it over 2 to the 5 to the 1. So as you can see, really, if you break these chords down and you separate them, you're actually backing up a preacher too.
Just like Jesus.
All right, so I'm listening here, and we can hear it from my preacher tracks. All right, so he's in the key of F.
In the storm, they went and they shook him and they said, Master, carry thou not if we perish.
All right, and of course we have our chromatic movements that we're gonna do later.
And got up.
All right, so let's focus on the MIT. So what we can do is
didn't make no commotion, but he stood up and he spoke to the storm and said, peace, be still, and the storm ceased. I come to tell you today, you got to learn to speak to it, whatever you declare.
All right, we'll focus on some of those other movements. I have some other formulas. I have a ton of formulas, churchy formulas. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, all right? So let's start on a 4 MIT. When I'm backing up a preacher, I like to start on that 4 MIT. So we're going to key, don't matter what key we're in, but we're in the key of F right now. So go to the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the minor, invert, add the tritone. Now, when I'm on that 4 MIT, guess what I'm starting on? The 4 MIT goes over the 3. So in the key of F. So you got the 3, play that 4 MIT. And you good to go. Man, you got them. And he's preaching. Then you go to your 3, 6, 2, the same ones we just did. Right? I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. That little movement right there, that's where we are. Start on the 4 though when you're backing up a preacher. That gives you a little bit more cushion, right? So in the key of F, go to the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minor invert at the tritone over the 3. So that's where you want to start. And the word said, move it down. 6, move it down. Move it down. Move it down. Move it down. And if you really want to get super fancy with that, right? Super fancy with that, what you do is on that 4 MIT, watch what I do. Watch this. Even though I'm doing that 4 MIT over 3, watch this. I'm throwing in some nice little chromatic moves to make me sound like I'm better than what I really am, right? Listen, that preacher is loving me right now, bro, because I'm moving with him. I'm moving this chromatic movement. So, right, so here we go. 4 MIT. Half step down. Woo. Woo. Oh my God. Now I'm on that 4. Y'all know I told you a little later on, we're going to color that in. That's all over my 4. Again, I realize calling this MIT can be a little bit confusing, all right, because some of you guys are going to call this an F minor 7 flat 5 over G. Then it turns into a G7 flat 9 sharp to 5. That's cool. It just turns into so many different names that it becomes a little bit difficult to do this in different keys, all right? Now, you all know we have examples for each of these things that I've kind of gone through. I want you guys to know that I love you so much. Thank you so much for your love and your support. 200,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, man. We're almost there. And so comment below if you want more churchy formulas, more jazzy type formulas that we can use in our everyday playing. Again, I love you all so much. You know, I never like to close out any video without letting you know that today is a new day. It's a new life. It's a new opportunity for you to become a better you.